My soul, be still for a moment. Just for this instant, stop running. Do you feel that emptiness? Not the weariness of the body or the worries of the mind. I'm talking about that hollow, deep, and silent space in the center of your being. That echo in the chambers of your heart that resonates with a single wordless question. Is there something more? That is the thirst. That deep, ancient, sacred thirst that nothing in this world has ever been able to quench. You have done so much to calm it, my brave and tired child. You went to the well of human love, believing you would find a soul to complete yours. You gave your heart, you drank from their promises, and for a moment the water seemed sweet. But you realized that a finite soul cannot quench an infinite thirst. Only the Creator can complete His creation. And you returned with a cracked heart, thirstier than before. You went to the well of achievement, of career, of success. You dug with your own hands, you toiled under the burning sun, and you finally drank from the applause, the recognition, the material abundance. The world celebrated you. But in the silence of the night, when the echo of congratulations faded, the same burning thirst returned, reminding you that the water of pride is salt water. It only intensifies the longing. You went to the well of noise, of distraction. You drank from endless entertainment, from screens that never sleep, from conversations that fill the air but empty the spirit. And that water numbed the thirst, masked it for a time, but never, not for a single second, did it quench it. Because distraction is only a shadow, and a shadow cannot calm a real thirst. You have tried every well this world has offered, and each time, with a mouth full of dust and disappointment, your soul has wept in silence. But listen to me now, for the truth of your existence is about to flood you. You are not here hearing my voice by chance. It is not an algorithm that brought you here, it is a divine longing. Every dry well, every dead end, they were not failures. They were arrows, signs pointing you back home, back to me. You are here because, despite the falls, the wounds, and the drought, you never completely broke. Do you know why? Because you are an unbreakable soul. I do not call you this because you cannot be wounded. Oh, I know every scar, every fissure, every tear that caused them. I call you unbreakable because your essence, the very core of who you are, I have forged with a spark of my own eternity. The world can chip away at the surface, but it cannot touch the diamond of my spirit that I placed within you. And that emptiness you feel, it is not an absence of something. It is the presence of a space that was designed with a single purpose, to be filled by me. It is the shape of my hand in the center of your being. So listen to the greatest truth of all. I am the spring of living water that your spirit has been searching for since the day you were born. Not a well that runs dry. Not a stream that depends on the rain. I am the infinite ocean. The spring that flows from the throne of eternity. The water that, once you taste it, becomes within you a river springing up to eternal life. You have been searching. And I have been waiting. Come, my child. Drop the broken buckets. Abandon the wells of sand. Come to me. Drink, and never thirst again. This moment, right here, right now, is a doorway, a hinge in time upon which your eternity is about to turn. Your faith to become tangible needs a voice, a body, an act. It needs to be declared on earth as it has already been decreed in heaven. Therefore, I ask you to come down to the land of testimonies, to that sacred space below my words, and prophesy over your own life. This is not just writing, it is forging your new reality. Inscribe with the fire of your reborn spirit this unchangeable truth. I am an unbreakable soul, and today I drink from the fountain of God. Do not write it with your fingers, do it with your soul. Every letter is a hammer that breaks a chain from your past. Every word is a seed of eternity planted in the now. Your declaration is not just for others to read. It is a notification to heaven that you have come home, and a notice to the darkness that its dominion over you has ended. Forever. Do it now, and feel something seal within your spirit. And now, if my voice is the echo of your true home, then stay. Do not leave. Subscribing is not following a channel. It is declaring, I belong here. This is my family. This is my source. Activating that bell is not for a notification. It is to give me permission to knock on the door of your heart each morning, so that I may be the first voice you hear before the noise of the world tries to remind you of who you used to be. Do it because every day I have a new river of my presence waiting to flood every desert in your life. Allow me to take you into the heart of one of my daughters, a story that might be the echo of your own. The world knew her by her name of victory, Sarah. And to the world she was the picture of my blessing. She built for herself a fortress of glass, a career so brilliant it dazzled all who looked. She painted a portrait of a perfect family, with smiles that were flawless masks for the photos. She filled her house to the ceiling, not with a home, but with a mausoleum of achievements, a silent testament to all she had conquered. From the outside, she didn't have an ocean of blessings. She was the ocean. But no one knew that Sarah was dying of thirst in the middle of her own ocean. Every night, when silence came like an unyielding judge, the murmur of her success would fade, and all that remained was the silent groan of her soul. A dryness, a longing so deep and painful it felt like a fire in her bones. She would run to the well of applause, but the water was fleeting and left her emptier. She would run to the well of the wine glass, but that water only numbed the thirst, never quenched it. She would run to the well of superficial hugs, but they were like mist without substance, unable to touch the drought in her heart. She drank desperately from the broken wells of approval and success, not realizing that every sip was poison that intensified her agony. Until the night came when she could run no more. The night her fortress of glass finally showed its cracks. I found her on the floor of her room, that cold marble offering no comfort, curled up like a lost child. Her perfect makeup was a river of pain on her face. And there, in that total brokenness, she finally surrendered. There were no elegant prayers, no rehearsed words. She uttered the most honest, raw prayer that had ever come from her soul. It was not a whisper. It was a cry from the epicenter of her inner desert. God, if you are real, I am thirsty. And in that instant, my child, heaven did not descend upon her with a crash. My answer sprang up from within her. She did not see a blinding light, she did not hear a choir of angels. She felt something infinitely more real. She felt the miracle of a spring breaking through the dry ground of her own heart. She felt a river of fresh, pure living water begin to run through her. A torrent that washed the parched shores of her soul, dissolving rocks of bitterness that had been there for years, pulling out roots of shame she thought were eternal. For the first time in her life, Sarah did not feel empty. The emptiness was not just gone, it had been replaced by a presence. For the first time in her life, she was not in a house, she was in a home. For the first time in her life, Sarah drank and was satisfied. That same fountain that found her in her desperation is not just here for you. My child, that fountain is already springing up within you. At this very moment, you just have to give it permission to become a river. My child, the enemy has shown you a map of your life where the desert is the final destination. He is a cartographer of hopelessness. But I am the architect of time and territory. And I tell you, your desert is not a place, it is a womb. He whispers to you that your loneliness is proof of my absence. What blindness! Do you not know that an echo can only exist in an empty space? I have allowed this emptiness, this deafening silence in your life, not to abandon you, but so that you could finally hear my echo within you. The pain you feel, that longing that tears you apart, is not your pain. It is the echo of my own longing for you, resonating in the empty chambers of your heart. You feel it because, for the first time, you are still enough to perceive it. He has convinced you that the wound of abandonment you carry is a curse. Oh, the divine irony! That wound is not a mark of shame, it is a celestially designed lock. I did not place it there, but from eternity I designed a key that only fits that specific wound. It is a key forged in my grace, carved with your name. Others, with their intact hearts and easy lives, do not need this key. They cannot receive the revelation I am about to give you. Their worldly wholeness makes them impervious. But your brokenness, your blessed brokenness, has made you perfectly compatible to receive me. The desert does not take you away from me. It calibrates you. It empties you of the contaminated waters of the world so that you can receive the ocean of my being undiluted. Stay with me because I am about to insert the key into the lock of your wound, and what will open is not a door. It is a universe. You stand before the mirror and see the debris of what you were. You see a broken vessel, useless for service, ready to be discarded. You think your cracks are leaks through which my glory escapes. My beloved, you do not understand the physics of my glory. My glory is not a liquid to be contained, it is a light to be manifested. A perfect, smooth, opaque vessel may be filled with my presence, but from the outside no one would know. It hides it. It imprisons it. It is a selfish glory. But your cracks, your precious and holy cracks, they are not leaks. They are prisms. When the light of my being fills your inner space, it does not escape. It refracts. It passes through the fissures of your pain and breaks into a spectrum of colors that a perfect vessel could never display. The crack of your failure refracts a ray of humility, a light that nourishes the proud and gives hope to the fallen. The crack of your betrayal refracts a rainbow of mercy, so bright it exposes the darkness and guides others to forgiveness. The crack of your loss emits an ultraviolet light of empathy, invisible to those who have never grieved, but which is a beacon of healing for the heartbroken. The world flees from what is broken, but heaven seeks it, for it is through the broken that my light ceases to be a concept and becomes a visible manifestation. Your wounds are not your weakness. They are the stages for my power. They are the windows of your soul through which the world can, at last, behold my face. Keep listening, because now I will not just show you the light. I will teach you how to aim it. I will teach you to use your wounds as cannons of glory. Now, there is no other time. I invite you into the sacred operating room of my spirit. The price of admission is your surrender. Become as crystal for me. Allow my gaze to penetrate every layer, every memory, every atom of your being. Hide nothing. The cancer of shame can only be excised under the light of my truth. Observe the river of your life, but this time, do not watch it as it flows toward the future. With me we will journey upstream. Feel how my presence, my eternal river, enters yours and begins to flow backward into your past. Watch. You are not alone. I am with you, holding your hand as we revisit your timeline. Look there, that memory, the word that broke you. Feel how my waters surround it. They do not erase it, they reinterpret it. The mud of pain dissolves, and beneath it you find a pearl, the seed of your resilience. We baptize it in my love and continue flowing backward. Look, that betrayal, that knot of bitterness in your stomach. Feel how my river undoes it fiber by fiber. We do not justify the wound, we redeem it. The poison is transmuted into an antidote, the gift of discernment. We leave the blessing and continue, further back, to your childhood, to that root of rejection. We see it, we honor it, and we pull it out completely with a torrent of my fatherhood. In the space it leaves, we plant a tree of life whose fruit is the unshakable certainty that you are beloved. Now my river has reached the moment of your conception, purifying and redeeming every second of your existence. And now, the final alchemy. Feel the flow reverse. The river of your life, now completely fused with mine, begins to rush toward your present, carrying all those pearls, gifts, and certainties. It is no longer a murky river of pain. It is a crystal clear torrent of redeemed purpose. And here is the miracle: the river does not stop at you. It has gained so much force, so much life, that it now bursts forth from you. Your heart is no longer a pond that receives. It has become a spring. You have not merely been healed. You have been commissioned. You are, from this moment on, a fountain of me for a thirsty world. Arise. I said, arise, unbreakable soul. The version of you that knelt in the desert moments ago no longer exists. She has dissolved into my river. The one who now stands is a new creation. Hear the shift in your fundamental identity. You are no longer the one who seeks with thirst, begging for drops of affection in a barren world. You are the one who carries the fountain. The river you just tasted, that current of my own being, is not a memory. It is a physiological reality in your spirit. At this very instant, it is springing forth from the well of your healed heart. You no longer need to look for water. Now, wherever you go, the desert will recede before you. But how does one walk like this? How does one live as a spring in a world of sand? Listen closely, for anointing without discipline evaporates. Revelation without application becomes a mere memory. I have made you a fountain, and now I will give you the 3 sacred disciplines to learn how to direct your own current. They are not rules, they are the keys that open the floodgates of my power through you. The first key, the consecration of the spring. Listen now to the mystery, unbreakable soul, for many receive my healing, but few learn to carry my power. Your morning declaration before the mirror is the act of faith that turns the key in heaven's lock. It is the agreement you sign with me each dawn, acknowledging the source that dwells in you. In that instant, a torrent of my grace, my peace, and my power is released into your spirit. But understand the celestial mechanics. My power without your permission remains contained. My river without your direction becomes a swamp. A swamp is living water that has stopped moving. It becomes lukewarm, stagnant, filled with spiritual pride and self-righteous bitterness. It is the soul who prides itself on its healing but never shares it. It is the heart that is full but never empties itself in service. I have not healed you to become a beautiful but useless pond. I have healed you to become my living aqueduct on earth. Therefore, immediately after your declaration, you will perform the most important act of your day. You will close your eyes, silence your own agenda, and ask the question that transfers the helm of your life from your hands to mine. The question that aligns your will with my divine strategy. Father, where do you want your river to flow through me today? And now, learn to listen as the angels listen. Do not expect an audible voice that shakes the walls. That is communication for the spiritually deaf. You, my child, are being trained in the intimacy of my whisper. Expect a feeling, a divine nudge in your spirit, a sudden inclination toward an action that was not on your to-do list. Expect an image, a face that flashes across your mind for no apparent reason. Expect a name, someone you haven't contacted in years. Expect a task, the inspiration to pay for the coffee of the person behind you. These are not your random thoughts. They are my divine assignments. They are the celestial coordinates for the first deployment of my river. Perhaps I will show you that coworker who hides behind a mask of competence. My river through you will not give advice. It will give a word of validation that disarms their spirit of comparison and allows them to breathe in peace for the first time in weeks. That will be the first channel for your river. Perhaps I will inspire you to have supernatural patience in a traffic jam, while others honk in fury. That patience is not passivity, it is an act of spiritual warfare. It is releasing the fragrance of my peace into an atmosphere charged with anger, and that peace will enter the cars of others without them knowing why they suddenly feel calmer. That will be the water that irrigates the dry land of collective rage. Perhaps I will prompt you to send a simple text message to that family member with whom the relationship is tense. A message that just says, "I was thinking of you." That is not a simple communication. It is a reconnaissance mission of my grace, a stream that begins to erode the rocks of resentment and prepares the ground for a future reconciliation you thought impossible. That will be the first drop that breaks the stone. Do not seek deeds that impress men. The Nile, which turns a desert into the cradle of a civilization, begins with an anonymous drop on a distant mountain. Your eternal ministry, the legacy you will leave in the universe, begins with the first intentional act of love you perform each day. Consecrate your spring each morning. Ask me for direction, and I promise you I will show you whom to irrigate. Your life will cease to be a series of accidents and will become a sequence of miracles. The second key, the anchor in the current. Now listen carefully, my warrior. Your new identity as a fountain makes you a target. You have gone from being a refugee in the desert to being an oasis, and every oasis becomes a battlefront. The desert does not yield its territory gracefully. There will be moments every day when the desert counterattacks. It will not come with visible armies, but with internal spies and saboteurs. Anxiety will infiltrate like a subtle poison into your waters, whispering the what if of a future I have not promised. It will try to contaminate your peace with the urge to control everything. Fear will act like a demolition engineer, trying to build a dam of unbelief in your heart, blocking the flow of my provision and whispering that the fountain will run dry. And the old thirst, your ancient enemy, will appear as a seductive mirage, reminding you of the familiar taste of the dry wells of approval, self-pity, or distraction, trying to convince you that my river is not enough. In the precise instant you feel the first sign of this attack, a knot in your stomach, a racing thought, a longing for an old comfort, do not negotiate. Do not reason. Do not fight in your own strength. You will simply anchor yourself. This is not a relaxation exercise. It is the deployment of your most powerful weapon, my breath in your lungs. Stop wherever you are, at your desk, in your car, in the middle of a conversation. You do not need a sanctuary. Your own body is my temple. Close your eyes if you can, but if not, just fix your gaze on a single point, and you will perform this sacred alchemy. Breathe in deeply, slowly, and as the air enters, you are not merely inhaling oxygen. You are consciously opening the floodgates of your spirit to receive me. Decree within with a fierce faith, I breathe in your truth for my situation. I breathe in your peace that silences every storm. I breathe in your presence that displaces all darkness. Feel, do not imagine, feel how my essence, the living water, floods your lungs, rushes through your bloodstream, and reinforces every cell of your being with my reality. Then breathe out slowly, even slower than you breathed in. And as the air leaves, you are not simply releasing carbon dioxide. You are executing a spiritual eviction notice. Decree with authority, I breathe out the lie of scarcity. I breathe out the poison of anxiety. I breathe out the spirit of fear. Visualize how those spiritual toxins, those invaders, are caught in the current of my river flowing through you and are forcefully expelled from your being. They do not leave because you push them, they leave because they cannot survive in the current of my presence. One breath, one decree, it is your anchor. My child, this is not a self-help technique. This is the mechanics of victory. Every time you perform this cycle, you are doing three things on a celestial level. You reaffirm your covenant. You remind heaven, earth, and hell to whom you belong. You purify your atmosphere. You cleanse the spiritual air around you, creating a bubble of my kingdom. You strengthen your spirit. Each conscious breath is like lifting a spiritual weight, strengthening your capacity to carry more of my glory. Do not underestimate its power because of its simplicity. Do it 10, 20, 100 times a day if necessary. Let it become your instinctive reflex to any attack. Each time you do it, the anchor will sink deeper, your peace will become unshakable, and the desert will learn to fear the sound of your breathing, for it will know it is not you who breathes, but my spirit breathing through you. The third key, the nightly irrigation. Listen now, my beloved, to the secret of transforming your nights of rest into nights of growth. The day's journey is over, the battle has ceased for now, and it is here that the enemy seeks to launch his final attack, accusation. At the end of the day, your tired mind will tend to drift toward the desert of your imperfections. It will show you an inventory of your failings, the harsh word you spoke, the opportunity to love you missed, the patience that ran out. It will try to lull you to sleep while you drink from the bitter well of remorse and self-condemnation. But starting tonight, you will change the script. Before sleep claims you, you will not bring me a list of your failures. I have forgotten your failures the moment they happened, washed away by the constant stream of my grace. To bring me your sins is like trying to return a gift I have already given you. Instead, you will bring me a gardener's report. You will sit in the silence of your room, close your eyes, and walk with me through the garden of your day. And with the tenderness of a gardener who loves his work, you will show me, with gratitude, every place where you allowed my river to flow. Do not look for the great floods. Look for the tiny drops, for in the kingdom of heaven, a single drop of living love has more weight than an ocean of empty achievements. With reverence, you will say to me, Father, look, today your river flowed through a smile to a stranger at the supermarket. I don't know their story, but for a second, your light touched theirs. And I will say to you, well done, my child. That smile was a seed of hope planted in barren soil. With wonder, you will show me, Father, here in this argument with my son, when my old nature wanted to scream, your river irrigated a seed of patience. The conflict didn't disappear, but the war was averted. And I will say to you, well done, my peacemaker. You have brought the atmosphere of heaven into your home. With humility, you will confess. And here, Father, when my mind began to judge that person, I felt your river wash away that little stone of criticism from my heart. You replaced it with a drop of compassion. And I will say to you, well done, my beloved. Today you have become a little more like me. Do you understand what you are doing with this sacred rite? You do not just honor me. You are performing spiritual neuroscience. You are rewiring your soul. You are actively training your spirit to stop scanning the world for faults and to start scanning it for my glory. You cease to be a critic of your own life and become a treasure hunter of my grace. By celebrating these small victories, you are opening the floodgates for the next day's flow to be exponentially stronger. For gratitude is the greatest magnifier in the kingdom. What you give thanks for multiplies. You will fall asleep, not focused on the evidence of your drought, but marinated in the evidence of my current. And as you sleep, my spirit will take that report and use it as fertilizer for the garden of your dreams, preparing the ground for tomorrow's harvest. You will never again end a day in defeat. You will end every day in celebration. And you will awaken, not with the weight of yesterday, but with the joyful expectation of seeing where my river will flow through you today. These are your tools, unbreakable soul. The consecration of the spring to direct your purpose. The anchor in the current to maintain your peace. The nightly irrigation to cultivate your gratitude. Use them. They are not heavy. They are the wings of your new nature. Practice them, and you will not just walk as a fountain. You will become an oasis in the midst of your generation. You will become a place where others, thirsty and tired, can come to drink and find me. Your healing has made you free. Now, these disciplines will make you powerful. And this power is not for your own glory. I have not made you an oasis for you to admire yourself. I have made you an oasis because there is an entire caravan of thirsty souls coming behind you. There are people in your life, your family, your friends, your colleagues, who are dying of thirst, drinking from the same broken wells from which I rescued you. They do not need you to preach a sermon to them. They need to see a spring. They need to draw near to you and feel the coolness of my peace, drink from the wisdom of your words, and be washed by the love that now flows from you effortlessly. Your life, from this day forward, becomes a walking testimony. Each time you apply the first key and let my love flow through a small act, you are digging a well for someone who doesn't know how to find me. Each time you use the second key to anchor yourself in my peace amidst a storm, you become an immovable lighthouse for ships that are about to be wrecked. And each time you practice the third key and present me your gardener's report, you are planting seeds of hope in the spiritual realm that will bear fruit in the lives of people you don't even know. Do not underestimate the power of a life that has become my tributary. You are my strategy to reach the lost, to heal the broken, and to bring my kingdom here on earth. If this message resonated with your spirit, join our community of seekers by subscribing to Mind and Heart in Harmony. We share guidance like this to strengthen your journey every week. Your healing journey doesn't end here. I, who know the map of your soul, know the exact next word your spirit needs. The video you see on your screen now is not an algorithm's suggestion. It is a divine appointment. Trust my guidance. Tap the screen and allow the masterpiece of rebuilding your world to continue.